Hi everyone, and welcome to Learn Accountancy. In today's session, we will be learning about management and leadership. This is lecture 7. First of all, we will start with management, purpose, and process. So, it is quoted as getting things done through other people is considered as management. Implies that you are in some way organizing what other people are doing. Organization, a social arrangement with controlled performance of a collective goals. If you might remember from my session 1 where we discussed about organization in detail, the earlier theories of management understated the social aspect of managing people. So there are trait theories. A good manager can be spotted by their traits. What makes a good manager, right? This is the question you might be thinking now. So there is an evaluation of a trait theory, and refer to the slides by Professor Manu Melvin Joy that will be available in the resource section. There is the evaluation can be seen now here in below, that 3 trait theory, Gordon Alpert in 1936, 16 personalities factor theory by Raymond Cattell, universal trait theory by Hans Eysenck, P5 model by Lewis Goldberg, and Hexaco model 2008 by Michael Ashton and Kim-Byom Lee. So what is a classical management theories? Belief in set of golden rules abiding by which makes a good manager. Henry Fayol 5 functions of management can be seen here. Fayol in early 1900 believed management theories could be developed and taught. Like, most of us may think that, leaders are born but couldn't be made. So here is the idea which you can see. According to him, managers have 5 functions: planning, organizing, commanding, coordinating, and controlling. The weakness is that mentions nothing about inspiring, leading, or motivating, which actually leads to problem. Knowing what to do is different from being able to do it appropriately. Frederick Taylor's scientific management, you can see that prior to Taylorism in the late 1800s, people did not think it was function of the management to tell employees what to do. Taylor believed that work deserved to be systematically observed and studied. This is the link that will be available in the resource section where you can see ABC News on Taylorism. It's a good info insight. Led to task specialization, achieve efficiency by doing tasks over and over again, and criticized for dehumaning work. Alton Mayo Hawthorne Studies 1935 suggests that series of experiments at the Hawthorne plant of the Western Electric Company led to the concept of human relations school, observed and discovered the sophisticated but informal system of group norms among the individuals. Style theories, style of a management makes a good manager. This is what they argue, the style theorist. The one of the most famous author here is Peter Drucker and came up with a theory of management. Management has 3 functions: manage business, manage other managers, and manage other workers and the work. So manager activities consist of setting objectives, organizing the group, motivating and communicating, measuring the performance, and developing the people. This is what Peter Drucker suggested. Mintzberg managerial functions can be divided into 3 areas: interpersonal roles, decision roles, and then information roles. Each of this further subdivides into the task that is being carried by the managers. So it can be seen here like interpersonal roles is consisting of figurehead, leader, and liaison between different departments of organization, whereas informational roles are about monitoring, disseminator, and spokesperson. And decision rules can be categorized further in entrepreneur, disturbance handler, resource allocator, and negotiator. Management terms, there are some important management terms that needs to be understood at this point. For example, power, authority, responsibility, and then delegation. So yep, usually management do have got a power and authority with the help of which they try to command and try to make other workers work and complete their performance in time. They are responsible for their orders and actions, and hence therefore they also do delegate the transfer of authority to the subordinates or junior managers. Ashridge Management College model distinguishes four different styles, which can be seen here. TELS is basically more of autocratic in nature, whereby they just command and dictate. CELS is more of persuasive nature, whereby they try to convince the other party. Consults is basically the type of managers and leaders who try to consult with their subordinates and their team members before they come to the final point. Joins democratic is basically where they try to vote and come up to the final decision at the end of the meetings. Blake and Mouton managerial grid measures two elements of managers and leaders: concern for people and concern for tasks. So you can see concern for production and concern for people on both axes, and initially devised to analyze the manager's approach through questionnaire and plot their position on the graph to determine the improvements. Like you can see here that concern for people, if it's high and concern for production is low, so they can be considered as a country club. Whereas if it both is low, so it can be improvised. If concern for production is high and concern for people is also high, that can be considered as a team management. And whereas concern for people is less and concern for production is high, so that can be considered as more task oriented. And there is another point also whereby it's known as middle of the road. But modern contingency theories, mostly depends upon no golden rules. Like, for example, how do you manage people? So they say it depends, according to Socrates. Kotter distinction between leadership and management can be considered under these four factors. Okay, so one is a transformational leader and another is a transactional leaders. So the differences can be learned under these four differences here on the left hand side. So creating an agenda under transformational leader, it's establishing a direction, whereas in transactional, you're just looking at planning and budgeting. When it comes to developing HR plan, it's about aligning people, and then here it's organizing and staffing. When it comes to execution, here it's more of motivation and inspiration, whereas here it's about control and problem solving. Outcomes are mostly based upon changes are dramatic here, produces predictability in order. So you can see here that how both the leaders have different approach to the management, whereas transformational are more inspirational, more motivating, and often takes the lead and do it themselves and show their subordinates that how tasks are done. Whereas transactional leaders are more of their seat, their chair, and their position. They are trying to command and being autocratic, just because of their position and their attitude. So, in summary, management copes up with complexities, and good management brings order and consistency. Leaders copes up with change, and all change demands a good leadership. So, thank you all for watching this video.